Carl and Brendan here from Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and it's tier list time, as we're following up with a part 2 of a series we said we were going to do. So probably over a year ago, maybe even longer, we did a tier list surrounding heavy metal rock vocalists. And the idea was it was going to be part 1 of a running series where the top categories, iconic and great, would then move on to eventually battle out on some big finale where hopefully we would come up what we think is the best rock/metal vocalist of all time. We did 30 in that tier list. The likes of Ozzy Osbourne, Rob Halford. There were a lot of big names in it, but there were plenty more to do, which is what we're looking at now. We are back with part 2 for another 30 vocalists spread across the rock and metal spectrum that we will be putting into 5 categories. Iconic at the very top, great, good, meh, and rubbish. If you don't remember, like the last tier list, if you go back and watch that video, you'll see nobody ended up in rubbish. Because truth be told, calling a vocalist rubbish is really, really hard to do. There were a couple that ended up in meh, though. I think we put like Tom DeLonge, Billy Joe Armstrong down there. So yeah, so we can be a bit controversial, because I remember one of the biggest debates we had was over Chester Bennington, who ended up not going through to the final round. He sat in good. And we were like, shit, should we really do that to Chester? We were like, you know what? It's our opinion. That's how it feel. Iano's going to agree with it, but we'll go for this one again. So everyone you'll know here, you'll have an idea of their singing voice, be it male or female. Kicking off then, Brendan, with Anthony Kiedis, of course, of Red Hot Chili Peppers fame. Now, the reflection, of course, can't be on the band, because obviously neither of us particularly think this band is good. I think they're overrated. I'm pretty sure you feel the same.
I don't like them.
Yes. But what about his vocals?
That's one of the reasons why I don't like them. Do I think he's a good... I'm trying to think if I'm running through songs in my head, right? You know, like, because obviously whether I like them or not doesn't change the fact that I know quite a lot of songs.
Yep.
Problem is, I only really need to go through one song, don't I? Because they all sound the fucking same.
You can choose. Well, yeah.
Californication.
Give it away, whatever that one is called. I don't know if that's got an actual name.
Stop addicted to the shindig.
That's the... Oh, God. Not that song.
No.
Oh, fuck. Here's the thing. Like, for me, particularly as he's the starting point, he simply goes in good. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's iconic, but I recognize, of course, he's a good vocalist. He's not
no, he's not. Yeah, it's not like he can't sing. Just I don't particularly like the style of it. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Just stick me good. Let's
start off and get him out of the way by putting him in good. Okay, right. Bit more of our taste here. It is Randy Blythe of course, Lamb of God fame. So we're talking a bit more aggressive here, certainly a bit more throaty, musically in the groove metal thing. Although I don't necessarily think he's got a unique vocal style, there are many others and similar vibes to his. What he does is certainly very good. I always quite enjoy his throatiness.
Right. Just sounds like a funny thing to say, but yeah, I know what you mean. So what have we got? Well, sorry, what's our categories? We got
iconic, great, good, meh, or rubbish.
All right, yeah, cool. All right, in that case, great. Sorry, I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just iconic above that.
No.
Let's put him in great.
Yeah, I think that's a fair place for him. I think
he's a strong vocalist, isn't he? He's just falls short of the iconic. So
yeah, he's not an iconic voice to me, but certainly one that, you know, you hear the Lamb of God songs, you hear his voice that comes along with it. Someone quite unique. But whether or not you think his vocals are good is going to be really up for debate. It's Al Jorgensen of Ministry fame.
Yeah.
So obviously Ministry is a band that you are polarizing. You know, you either love the industrial heaviness they do and his style, or you hate it. And personally, I do like Ministry quite a lot, but I don't necessarily rate his vocals as being awesome.
I don't like him. I don't like Ministry. Which doesn't help. I'm not a fan. And I also don't like his vocals. I don't think he's rubbish, but only purely because I don't think anyone's really that rubbish. But for me, he'd be in the meh category.
Hello, Anthony Kiedis. He's in good.
Oh, fuck you, Anthony. You've ruined everything. Again, you're always ruining shit.
How about we put him alongside Anthony, but above Anthony, so he sits in good, and at the end, any changes we can make anyway. Yeah?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't put Al and Meh below Anthony Kiedis. No chance. We might have a contender for iconic, though. Not just because of his vocals, but because he is an icon of rock anyway. It is Alice Cooper, who should need no introduction. Yeah, this is kind of easy to a degree, even though I don't necessarily love Alice Cooper Band and the like and stuff like that. I do thoroughly enjoy a lot of his music, and I like his style, whether he's going for the slow, sinister stuff or he's gone a bit fast, a bit more peppy, a bit more energetic. Yeah, for me, I think Iconic's a good place for him.
I definitely think he's iconic.
Right.
But we're doing vocals, right?
Yes. Okay, I can see.
I don't know that I would class his vocals as iconic. I think Alice Cooper, the brand, the man, you know, is iconic, definitely. And like you said, he's an icon of rock and hard rock and the goth kind of scene, really. But I think his vocals are iconic. I think he's a great vocalist. I'd probably have him above Randy in great, but for me, not iconic.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna defer to you in this one because I think you're making a good point. I think I'm getting a little bit caught on the icon status more than vocal. So yeah, top of great. We'll put him there. You can shout us in the comments for that one. We covered Angela Gossow in part 1 of the Vocalists, so it's time to look at the current Arch Enemy singer, Alyssa White-Gluz.
Right. Let me separate the songs in my head. That was her. She's a very good singer. Like, all right, so I know already. Like she's no lower than good, right? I'm just trying to work out how much higher than good she should be.
Now I looked where we put Angela, and we put Angela in great.
Yeah, I see. I don't. See, it's a weird thing with Arch Enemy. I like Arch Enemy. I've got no problem with Arch Enemy. I think they're good. I've got some songs I really like. I've got some stuff I don't. I think for me, both vocalists are almost interchangeable, like to a degree. Like it doesn't affect me when I'm listening to Arch Enemy. Like, oh, that was that one. That was a different one. So I'm happy for her to go in the same position, really, and stick her in great. But I put her like below Randy
at the end. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm the same. It's very much interchangeable as well, but it's no slur upon her vocals at all because they are incredible. That's kind of the positive, really, that it's not a shift in tone. Okay, then. This is an interesting one because it is another woman, but it's from a band neither of us like. In fact, we've done track by track where we slated this band quite heavily. It's Amy. Indeed. Because this has to be the whole level-headed, recognized vocalist.
This is where it sucks, man.
Yep.
Because like it's so easy to do if it's just like, do I like Evanescence songs? No, therefore she sucks. Yep. But I'm very aware she's a fucking phenomenal singer.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very aware she's a great singer. Yes. And that's what she is. She has got a great voice.
There's no
happens to use it in a shit place.
There's no argument. Now I agree. She's a great singer. So that's the part where she goes in. Now it's a matter of where she goes. So we got Alice Cooper at top. She can't go above Alice Cooper. I just can't do that. This feels wrong. But above Randy or below?
You see, on personal taste below, you know.
You've got to do personal here.
If it's personal taste for me, she's probably at the back end of great at the moment because I prefer all of those vocalists
to her. Yeah.
Respect her talent, but prefer the others.
Yeah, we can do. That's the thing is, we can recognize talent, but we're still gonna have personal feelings about it. We're not so fucking big-headed as you say. You're gonna stick her on rubbish because we can't stand Evanescence. But
even, she kicked the band out that time, man. Kicked them out of the studio and did that song on her own. That was bang out of order.
About that one, yeah. Okay, this is an interesting one because ultimately, it's an icon of a certain style. But whether or not you can necessarily think he's a good vocalist is a different story. It's Barney Greenway, of course, of Napalm Death.
Yeah, that is
That is tough.
The whole genre, that whole sort of genre vocal sort of side of things is tough because, you know, he's the perfect vocalist for the band. Fuck, I'm gonna go good.
Right.
Who else are we having good?
We've got Al Jorgensen and
let's put him top of good.
Yep, I'm happy with that. I do enjoy Napalm Death. I do enjoy the vocals, but I'm also very, very acutely aware that it's grind, and ultimately a lot of grind vocalists sound the same or sound very similar, and that, of course, is a problem in itself. But what he does in Napalm Death is just, if we were judging on that, iconic, of course, but when, it's going to be more than that. Okay, here we're going to run I hope we're not going to run into a dispute, but I feel like we might, because we've had a dispute about this band in the past a few times. It is the vocalist of Deftones, Chino Moreno.
Right.
So I'm going to tell you what I want this guy to go immediately, and then you can see. This is an iconic vocalist to me. He is unbelievably brilliant at what he does, from the early stages with a more heavier vocal style to his later, more elaborate, more dreamlike, more flowing musical style. I fucking love Chino's vocals.
Do you now?
Yes. See, I knew it. I thought this might be the problem.
Yeah.
Chino is brilliant.
But say that sentence again.
Even these days, Chino.
Even these days. Sorry, I thought you said on his day.
No,
and that's what I was going to say, and that's the problem.
No, because I know on his day, I don't know. It's part of the problem is, do you give Deftones a lot of time these days?
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm. I don't know what the word for it is. Burnt, scarred from the past. And that's not to say like I dislike Deftones. I still listen to some Deftones stuff today, but I guess I got stuck in an era. I listen to songs from White Pony.
Yep.
I listen to songs from, I can't remember the name of the album, but the one where they're on the raft in the water.
Around the Fur?
Shove It, it's on it. And Around the Fur, that's it. But that's like, I don't think that's a very, that's the problem. When the minute you said Deftones to me, right, in my head, I've got him going, shove it, shove it, shove it. And I'm like, that's just like fucking any other generic nu metal fucking vocalist back in the day. But then I can listen to songs like Back to School and I'm like, or other songs off White Pony, really. And actually, there are some really, really good examples of a strong vocalist there. But I haven't got that era after it, So I'll tell you what my thought went the minute you said his name. I went good. Right, you went straight for iconic. We either meet in the middle, or I'm happy to, because I haven't got a modern like line in the sand to really compare him to. If you want to stand your ground on iconic and make sure he goes through to another round, I'm okay with that. But like he'll have to go at the bottom end.
I think we often do this in our tier list, and we're going to do it here because no doubt will be an opportunity come up for you, which is we sometimes give ourselves the other person a buy, which is, all right, you've got more of an opinion on this, you can have this one, but I'm going to want one later on. This is my one. Let me have this one, and I'll be not less argumentative if we get to one that you want to put in a place and I disagree heavily.
Yep.
All right, Christina Scabia. I think that's how you say her last name. Scabia. I'm not sure how to say it. I'm terrible at it. But of course, it's the frontwoman of A Lacuna Coil. A band that I liked growing up, but found to be mostly quite bland these days. I think she's a good singer, but that's about it for me. Good.
I'm okay with that. I was never a fan of Lacuna Coil. Never really got into them. Always felt they were okay at everything they did in all departments, but without ever really getting past that. So I'm happy with good.
Okay.
Just purely because I want to push Anthony down so she can still go above Anthony.
Yeah, okay. She'll go above Alan Anthony, but after Barney. I think that's
that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, here's a difficult one because we're going to have to judge this person's vocals on two areas. We're going to have to judge him how he was and what he is now, and that is it. Because how he was great. How he is now is meh. It's Danzig.
Yeah.
And you can say, well, split the difference and we'll put them on good, but I really don't like modern Danzig. Whereas Danzig of Misfits and early Danzig stuff had a pretty fucking strong voice. Now, it ain't much to write home about. I really, really don't want to put him high. And I know that's really terrible because of his past.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I agree with what you're saying, to be honest with you. So I'm happy for him to go into Mare. I don't think he's a strong vocalist. I think in the past it worked with the sound that they did, young, energetic, everything like that sort of stuff, but it didn't last very long, did it? And it's a long time ago.
It is, and it's going to be our controversial one, I think, of this list, sticking Danzig down in Meh. Come at us in the comments, you want to. Okay, Darren Malakian, who, of course, is one half or one part of System of a Down, but also does Scars on Broadway.
That one. I was trying to think which half he was. I was like, is that one? Which one's Serge? Which one's Darren? But yeah, no, I know now.
He's often some people's favorite part of System of a Down. Other people find him to be an irritation. I can take or leave him depending upon the tracking system. Scars on Broadway bores me. But as a vocalist, he is a unique singer, and I will give him that. I'm kind of leaning towards good on this one.
Yeah, so am I. I never had a problem with it. I wouldn't. I think I agree with you. Like, I would never have been in a position where I was like, I prefer Darren over Serge or Serge over Darren. I think it was just a song, and I actually thought the two of them worked really well together when they can be bothered.
Yeah.
Actually, the two vocal styles were well matched.
Yeah, Chop Suey, Lost in Hollywood, tracks like that where they really have vocal duties are wonderful pieces of music.
So definitely not like he's not a bad singer at all. Yeah, so I'm happy with him to go into good.
Right. So above Anthony and above Al?
Yeah, let's keep pushing it. Anthony back. And above Christina, yeah.
What about Barney?
Let's leave Barney at the top.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like that.
Let's be hardcore.
Dave Grohl.
Ah, right.
Yeah. Interesting one.
Now, this is an interesting one because this is the whole not a fan of the band, completely aware that the man can fucking sing.
Mm-hmm.
He's between two, isn't he? That's the thing.
Yeah, for clarity, I want to add to people, at the time of recording, we did a track by track for Foo Fighters, The Color and the Shape, maybe an hour ago. So this is very fresh for us. And it's part of the reason I think we can talk a little bit more openly about it. And I think you're saying the two, and the two is iconic and great, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And it's a difficult one because it's that whole trying to strip the song, the music, like, you know what I mean? Like the songs that I don't really care for a lot of the songs. But even in the track by track when we did it, the songs that I disliked, I always was able to acknowledge, like, he sings it well, though, doesn't he? Fucking hell, he sings it well. And I really do think when he does ep it up a little bit and go with the aggression and shouting and that, he's got a fucking strong voice, man. The dude could, he's got range, he's got the ability. So I actually think I think he might fall in the iconic. I think Dave Grohl's getting icon status.
I can see no reason not to. You make a great argument there, and I was almost going to be like, well, when he sings a bit softer, but it's like, it's not that it's bad. It's not that at all. It's just I don't particularly care for it. But you talk about that, so when he rocks it up, and that shit I really, really like. I do want to put him after Chino though, so I'm gonna,
Yeah, that's okay. I'm happy for him to be at the back end. Are great. Sorry, iconic.
Yeah. Oh, it was only two in there at the moment, so it's not. We still got plenty more to go, and here we go. We've talked often in the past about recognizing that a singer might be perfect for what they do, or a band member will be perfect for what they do in conjunction with the band and so on, but maybe they're not the best vocalists. And this might apply to this next man. It's Dave Mustaine.
Right. Yeah, this is a tough one because Dave, again, this is kind of like the Alice Cooper one in a degree because it's recognizing the fact that the man himself is an icon.
Yep.
But has he got iconic vocals? He's got iconic vocals in that they're memorable.
Mm-hmm.
I think he also suffers from his vocals have deteriorated over time, like many people have. Like, he's not alone in that. He's an older guy now. I can't fucking be angry at him for it or nothing like that, you know.
It's hard. I really struggle with this one because I'm like, don't let your love of Dave Mustaine cloud you. But then I'm like, things like Sweat and Bullet and Holy War is the Punishment Due, and that snarl and snark that he has in his vocals is just so perfect for what it needs to be.
It is, yeah, but we've also seen him live, and we know that he can't do that.
Yeah, true.
You know, like it's different. It's trying to weigh up the whole catalog, isn't it? Because we're like, you know, when the Sweat and Bullets come out, like what, 25 years ago,
Yeah.
And it's trying to weigh up, like, obviously that, and that should be judged as well, but what it is now as well. And he's iconic in that it's memorable, but he's often as much the butt of jokes for the vocals. These not all the time. I watched him when I can't remember when the last time I watched him headline Bloodstock, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and still, it's the whole thing. It's such a difficult one because it was still amazing. It was a great show, everything like that. But he sounds like ass. You know, it's just like, oh, dude. So I don't know. I think I feel bad putting him any. I wouldn't want to put him any lower than great, which I know is a bit of a cop out just purely because who he is. Because actually, I think, like, if I was being truly fair, he'd probably be in good.
I think if we were being pretty fair, considering we criticised Danzig, it'd have to go down there, but that just feels incredibly wrong for me.
It feels wrong because of who he is.
But also, I like his vocals so much. Like, so that's the thing. Even these days, I still thoroughly enjoy his modern stuff as well. Okay, so you're sort of saying great. Where on great? So we've got Christina at the bottom.
Who's that? Above Christina.
All right, Alyssa.
Oh, fuck me. This is difficult because, like, if you're just weighing up the vocals, do you know what I mean? Like, if you're just saying who's a better singer out of Alyssa and Dave Mustaine, it's absolutely nonsense to say Dave Mustaine.
Well, then we have to let the personal side get to the result with this. Let the personal side. Who would you prefer to listen to? It's supposed to make it easier, but apparently not.
It depends on the song. All right. No, let's put him above Alyssa then. Overall on catalogue.
What, after Randy Blythe?
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. David Coverdale. So Whitesnake, of course. Another one where you have to look at the fact that ultimately what he was and what he is now is a real difference. This question is, did you love what he was before?
No, I didn't. That's the thing. I mean, like, that's again, I wouldn't ever have said, like, I was a big Whitesnake fan or anything like that. Anyway, I know I know the hits, I know the big songs. Good.
Yeah, good for me as well. That's about as far as it goes, really. The question is, again, how high or low? So we got Barney and Darren at the top of good. After them?
Yeah, I think after them, yeah.
Christina Scabia?
Maybe after her as well. Let's throw her a bone.
All right. Above Alden, yeah?
Yeah, let's go above Al.
Okay. All right. I'm happy enough for that. Just because obviously some of the more iconic songs that Whitesnake did pull out. This will be an interesting one then, because again, I think it's going to be down to taste more than anything else. But David Draiman, of course.
Yeah, it is a taste thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it depends. Do you like the new?
You only got to say the fucking name, and all I can hear is ooh wah ah ah.
But then you've got obviously the more modern Disturbed stuff, that is more singing based than anything else. Of course, the covers that.
Yeah, it's difficult for me because, like, I mean, I don't listen to Disturbed. That's the truth of it. I haven't listened to a lot of modern stuff. I've obviously heard the cover of The Sounds of Silence because there was a point in time where you couldn't not hear that cover. And like I can tell from that cover that the man can sing, Stupefies or aside, like he can still sing. For me, he's no higher like than good. That's the thing. And even his rendition of, say, The Sounds of Silence, which is the most recent Disturbed stuff I've heard, I think he sings it well, but I don't listen to it and go like, fuck me, wow. I go like, oh, okay, it's not a bad cover.
It's that, isn't it? You've just nailed that. And that actually applies to the past as well. When you just did it yourself. When we think of David Draiman, we think of early Disturbed, and you think of The Sickness and all that. You're not thinking of, oh, wow, great vocals. We're all laughing and going, ooh, wah, ah, ah, or Stupefy and stuff like that. That's not a great reflection for me. I'm happy enough to put him in good because ultimately he has got a voice and he can sing, even if it's not me. But I actually think he goes right near the bottom.
Yeah, I'm happy for him to be at the bottom.
What I was going to put him above Anthony Kiedis and after Al Jorgensen.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, let's keep pushing Anthony.
Yeah, because I like Al. Al's a bit more unique. Okay, I think this one might be down to taste as well, and we might have a debate over this because ultimately you already know my adoration for this guy's vocals. It's Dee Snider. Now, for me, it's iconic. And this isn't just because of Twisted Sister or anything like that. It's because the man can fucking sing in ways and still do it. Holy shit, is he still killing it these days? Yeah, but you know, what do you think?
I'm okay with that. I agree. I think Dee Snider is one of the coolest fucking people in the world, and is a fantastic vocalist. So yeah, I have no problem with that.
Okay, right. Chino and Dave Grohl are in front. Where are we putting him?
In the middle.
All right.
I think overall, Dave Grohl, despite my dislike of the bands that he plays in, is just a phenomenal vocalist. It's going to be hard to top in that.
Dave Grohl was after Chino.
It's Chino top. Yeah. Oh, in that case, put D top.
Okay, no, I'm okay with that. Yeah.
I had it reversed in my head, but that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, Joey Belladonna, one of Anthrax singers, the more consistent one, and one that's been in Anthrax now for a while. Joey's not my favorite Anthrax singer. John Bush is. John Bush is a phenomenal vocalist, but Joey does good stuff as well and is a part of some of the iconic stuff. What I'm quite impressed with Joey Belladonna is that he can still sing these days. You hear Anthrax, you're kind of like, yeah, okay, man, you're still rocking it like you were 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing that whole thing again now. I'm running through songs in my head and being like, do I like that one? Do I like that one?
I would put him in great, but at the end of great, after Amy Lee.
Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. Let's do that.
Cool. Okay, talking about iconic statuses and whether or not they're actually good vocalists, but in relation to the music they made, this is a difficult one. It's Johnny Rotten, aka Sex Pistols. Now, I'm going to be honest with you people. I've got to really switch my head up. I can't stand this man. I couldn't stand him before. I can't stand him these days as the toy arsewipe that he is. But the punk music that Sex Pistols made, and I'm not so stupid. Like, it's like that worked. That snarl, that rough, raw edge, that almost nasally shit he has going on. It works for Sex Pistols. I get that. And that's why I'm always going to leave this one up to you, because I don't think I'll do it fairly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, I understand, like, Johnny Rotten did what everyone else does, unfortunately, in music, and he got old.
Yeah.
But this is where you got trying to separate the vocals from the fact that he and the Sex Pistols, love or hate them, were fucking iconic. They represent an era, and that's amazing. And there is no other vocalist that would. It was perfect for the time, perfect for the band. Everything fell into place. It was perfect. Yeah. He's not a great singer though. That's the thing. And but you didn't. It's one of those things, isn't it? Like, it was fucking punk, man. Like, you could rattle off 100 other punk bands who weren't suddenly bursting into ballads and doing fucking Sinead O'Connor covers and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? So if you judge John, you gotta say call him John Lydon. Sorry, my chair keeps going down. If you judge John Lydon on his range or anything like that, then the best you can do is good.
Yeah.
But he could just as easily end up in meh, and then apply the impact, including his vocals, because whether we like it or not, the reality of it is even if you hate this dude, exactly in your head right now what he sounds like exactly, and that's quite an iconic thing.
No. Yep.
So I'm kind of I do like the man. I don't necessarily everything about him, but I like the Sex Pistols. I've always liked the Sex Pistols. So for me, I kind of like to see him be thrown a bit of a bone here and go into good. I'm happy for him to go at the back end of good.
Well, I was going to suggest, considering you said good, considering we kind of put Barney, who's currently top of good, up there based on the fact that while similar vibes to Johnny Rotten in the sense that it's that stuff, why not alongside him?
Yeah, let's do that.
After?
That sounds fair. Let's put him after Barney.
Yeah, I think that kind of fits quite nicely there. And we continue that theme again with what we all know is probably not the best vocalist in the world, but fuck me, is iconic. It's fucking Lemmy.
Yeah. Now, this is an interesting one, right? Because I would have had a different opinion of where Lemmy sat if it wasn't for the song The End.
Yeah.
Because that song is fucking sung amazingly.
Yeah.
And while it's still his gruff voice, it's melodic and it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
And like songs like that, they change my mind because like, you know, obviously we all go like, oh, Ace of Spades and all that sort of stuff. And that is what he was. It was a punk rock and roll sort of almost monotone sometimes, husky sort of voice. Iconic in terms of like we all know what he sounds like, and the dude is iconic, and that's again trying to separate that. But I actually like when you listen to that song, The End, like he can sing.
Yeah.
He can fucking sing. So I don't. Oh man, I don't think he's quite got like the overall kind of range and catalog to go into iconic, despite the fact that the man is iconic. But I do think he's a great singer.
Yes, of course, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm happy with him to being great. And like I said, that one song changes everything for me, man, because that's out of all the songs that I love of Motorhead, like that, I don't know, it's different, man. It changed everything.
Yeah, no, I know. We've discussed this at many times, how that last Motorhead album was a really, really strong album. And then you hit that track and it was a generally stop moment of going, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm happy and great as well, but I think above Alice Cooper.
Yeah, I'm happy with that as well. Let's do it. Fuck you, Alice. Not really. I like Alice Cooper. I didn't mean that.
Okay. We now have a contender for the top of iconic to knock off Dee Snider, simply because they're one of the world's greatest vocalists. It is Meat Loaf, the late Meat Loaf.
Yeah.
What can we say other than you know his voice, you know his music, you know the range he has. Now, you can obviously get into this debate then about older Meat Loaf not being able to hit perhaps the highs of the early Meat Loaf, but fuck me. Who could replicate what he did in his youth?
Do you know why? And that's the difference. That's the biggest difference, right? Because what Meat Loaf wasn't, I know he did, like, don't get me wrong, I know there were many albums that he did afterwards, but in his later years, he toured a lot doing his older stuff. He wasn't releasing new music with shit vocals.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's the difference. I think a lot of the bands where we've gone like, oh, they were great, but then what they're doing now is they're still trying to do it.
Yep.
I think he recognized at a point. And so, yeah, he struggled to hit the highs of 30, 40 years, songs that he wrote back then. So to me, that's like a massive difference. And like, because of course he does. Like, you know, nobody can fucking like, you know, do what they did 20, 30 years ago. Like, Jesus. The difference would be like, and it would have like almost hurt his memory, I suppose, to a degree, as if like, I don't know, last year he'd released an album and tried to do a load of like big epic songs on it and they all sounded shit. But he didn't do that. So yeah, I agree. Like he is top of iconic.
Yep.
He is.
There it is.
Unbelievable singer.
Don't worry, people. There is another couple of names in this because, like I said, it's part 2 of the vocals, and you wouldn't believe how many names we missed off, big ones of the first. So a lot of them were included in this. There are some that may even knock him off, depending upon our view on him. But before then, this guy I don't think is knocking him off. But we might recognize his talents, although it's a talent of two halves, particularly as early work was very death metal orientated, whereas nowadays it's more progressive rock than anything else. It's Mikael Åkerfeldt of Opeth fame. So a very talented singer, of course. Regardless of what you might feel like personally, I never really was on the Opeth train, and I don't even care or mind too much about the difference in sound. I can recognize stuff like Blackwater Park. The earlier stuff has been really, really strong, but I can also recognize the more progressive rock edge that they have these days as being good stuff as well. I think he's a great singer.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I don't care enough about Opeth to like argue, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm happy for him to go in a great. More of a listener to the older stuff, I guess, if I was anything. But I never had a problem with his vocals. I've always enjoyed his vocals. So,
well, I'm going to do this on personal taste then, and I'm going to put him after Dave Mustaine and above Alyssa White. Okay, it's a good place for his talents because personally, you know, I like Dave Mustaine music voice more. Okay, now we're going to run into we have it's an icon voice wise, but how high he goes is interesting. It's Mike Patton of fame.
Yeah. Right. You're right. You're right. Instantly, he's. I know he's an iconic. I know that.
Yep.
I'm just doing what you're doing. I'm like, right, where am I putting him?
Yes.
For me, I know, like, right. So I know he's above Dave Grohl. My debate is whether or not he's above Meatloaf.
Okay, icon is Meatloaf, D. Snyder, Chino, Dave.
Sorry, Dave's at the back end. Yeah, I keep thinking Dave's like right at the top.
Should we move Dave up? Should we just move Dave up next to fucking D. Snyder and Meatloaf and put Chino at the bottom? I'm happy with that. Let's move Dave up one, so he's now part of that top three. It makes more sense. It's almost fairer.
It's like my mind has put Chino down there anyway.
Yeah, you would do it anyway, so might as well. He's still an iconic. He's still going through to the final round. Happy with that. So this is what makes my thing with Mike Patton, the contrast. Now, Mike Patton contrasting vocals, and here's the thing is, although I'm not a fan of the likes of Mr. Bungle and stuff like that, I know he's still a talented singer. So I end up weighing it up on the music of Faith No More that I absolutely adore, and the particular moments, whether it be Ashes to Ashes, for example, is an absolute phenomenal example of his vocals. But then I also got a more modern day stuff, or the last album, should I say, modern day. It's like 9 years old now, I think, that album. And I think of Matador. And I think of that and what he's capable of. And that's the thing. It's the fact that I genuinely believe Mike Patton could read me the menu of a fucking restaurant and I'd still be like, dude, I want to have sex with you. That kind of thing. For me, he goes after Meatloaf above D. Snyder because of Mike Patton's incredible range more than anything else.
Yeah, see, like I don't disagree with like what you said there, but purely because of his incredible range more than anything else was why I was thinking above Meatloaf.
Ooh, that's the debate. I mean, I'm not against it because I adore Mike Patton's voice. I mean, I'm hearing Ashes to Ashes in my head right now as he does that way, and that's just wow. Okay, let's do it then. Let's put him above Meatloaf. It's our fun.
Yeah, because I'm doing like I'm dropping outside of Faith No More as well. Like I'm thinking like a Dead Cross and stuff like that, where like I mean the range he fucking portrays across that. Like, it's just insane.
So I have a little, I don't know if you know this, you might do if I ring this a bell. So there was a moment many, many years ago that blew my mind about Mike Patton. There was a games called The Darkness and The Darkness 2. They're Xbox 360 games. You played this dude in a work trench coat and he just monster that came up, kind of like Venom, that thing. That creature's voice is very throaty, all that kind of thing. That's Mike Patton. When I found out, I was like, the fuck?
Yeah. I was just looking like, I mean, like he seemed to, I mean, he doesn't seem to like so much anymore, but he had like a little, obviously the dark because he was in Portal, the voice of the Anger Core, Left 4 Dead.
Oh, he does oh God, what's he in Left 4 Dead?
Smoker. He does the infected voices and the Smoker and the Hunter. And then he came back for Left 4 Dead 2 to do the same two again. So like, but like he just, filmography, like he does creature vocals in I Am Legend. He does the noises that come from the creatures in I Am Legend.
Oh, I'm gonna have that to do a rewatch then, just to experience
that. Which I didn't know. It was just literally because I was trying to remember. I listened to something. This isn't really, really recent, but there was like a collaboration that he did with somebody I'd never heard before, and it is. I can't never find the fucking thing now. Hang on, because he's done. Problem is, he's got so much fucking stuff that he's done. It's like trying to find something in a list of 10,000 things. But it was with like a French name. Oh, there it is. With somebody called Jean-Claude Vanier. And the album was called Corpse Flower. And again, it's Mike Patton is a vocalist on it. And a lot of it's just like him with like almost orchestral stuff. But it's just, again, like completely new. Like stuff I'd never heard him do before. And it was just like, dude, like you can just do anything. Like anything. If he wanted to come out now and just sing Bat Out of Hell, I reckon he'd blow Meatloaf out of the water.
Yeah, I think you nailed it there. Although it was a couple of years ago, obviously we then saw Faith No More live at the Roundhouse. Incredible show, and it was like it was album perfect voice wise. Yes. There was no, and that's not an age thing. Like it hasn't affected him in that way. He continues to work and he continues to change. Just listen to Superhero in your head and that fast bit that go no, and then into the chorus part. Yeah, top. Yeah. I don't. That's it. You may not get moved. But there are a couple more. Nurgle. Behemoth.
Different style. This is where it's difficult because I have such an appreciation for the fact that black metal frontmen can sing the way that they do. And yes, to us it's singing. Absolutely. Nurgle's a very, very strong vocalist. Where do I think him? I think he's great. I don't know if he's iconic for me because actually, even out of black metal vocalists, I have a fair few I think I'd put above him.
I'm agreement. I think great. I think he's near the top.
Yeah.
Lemmy, Alice Cooper, and then Randy Blythe. I kind of want to put him with Randy after Alice.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay. The other part of System of a Down, it's Serge Tankian.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where do we put him? Where do we put Darren?
In good, third from top after Barney and Johnny Rotten. Then it's Darren. So I'm going to be straight with this. Serge goes in great. He goes above Darren because there's the predominant vocalist, particularly in the earlier days more than anything else. And the incredible range he has from doing something slow paced and moody like Spiders to something peppy and it crazy like Sugar. You hear System, you hear Serge first more times out of anything.
Yeah. I mean, like I was never like as big a System fan as many people were, but if somebody asked me to name the members, I named Serge as a vocalist.
Yeah.
I didn't name Darren as a vocalist. Darren was on guitars.
Yeah, exactly that. So he's got to go on great, but he's also got to go quite high, I think, as well. So I kind of want to put him. I kind of really want to put him high, really. Maybe after Lemmy above Alice Cooper. Was that just wrong? Alice, then Nurgle after Alice.
No, I think above Alice is fine. I think Lemmy and then Serge.
It's just being realistic. Yeah, it's being realistic, really.
Yeah.
Okay, the last woman in our list, because women, vocalists aren't that as many as the men, as you should know already. It's Sharon Den Adele. Almost forgot her last name there. Within Temptation. So for me, this is pretty straightforward. If you rank these kind of bands, your Night Wishes, your Lacuna Coils, and that aspect and stuff like that, all have a similar style and all that. Within Temptation are near the bottom for me. And it's across all boards. I think she's a very good singer. Of course she is, absolutely. But there's nothing that's ever wowed me about Within Temptation at all. And it's not the vocals. We had Floor in the first list. If you wonder why Floor is niche, because she's in the first list. I don't think we've done Taja yet. I think she might come around in part 3 eventually. But for me, Sharon, it's good. Maybe around the middle, maybe above. After Christina, but above David Coverdale.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I have no
feelings on her.
Feelings towards Within Temptation at all. They're kind of the same as Lacuna Coil, really. It was always just okay stuff. I was never like into it, never really did anything for me.
Nope, that is fair. Okay, we have 5 left. And the next up, it's Slayer. It's Tom Araya. Interesting.
Yes.
It's one of these again, isn't it? Where you're like, okay, it may not be the best vocals, but for Slayer, perfect and stuff like that. So I guess it's almost got to go alongside other ones we did like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking like I'm leaning towards like after Dave Mustaine, which is in what, Great?
Yeah, he's after Dave.
Because I think they're both kind of similar in a way, which is that like firstly they are iconic. So I'm kind of leaning towards personal preference. Like a lot of love for Tom, a lot of love for Slayer, but not enough to sit around shouting Slayer. But a lot of love for them anyway. And that's how I feel with Dave Mustaine as well. Like I don't think either of them are the world's strongest vocalists, but they have got iconic vocal styles.
Okay. Yep. After, I'm happy with that. Above Mikel, after Dave. Cool. Okay. So this is one of those again where I'm like, this guy has to go in iconic, but I'm not sure how you'll feel about it. It is Trent Reznor. 9 Inch Nails, of course.
Yeah, I never really got that. Never really got on the 9 Inch Nails train because it was a very late running train.
Yes. Fair enough.
Why did I never get on the train? Because it never fucking turned up. But so, yeah, I mean, I can see why you'd want him, and I do think I'm happy with iconic because I do think he's an amazing vocalist.
Yeah,
I'm not oblivious to these facts just because I'm not a fan of the band. I guess this is where an iconic comes more from personal taste, and that's where I kind of have less to offer because I haven't really got a personal taste thing. I just never really got into them. I don't think where would I write? Is he better than Chino for you?
No, I was going to put him at the end. I almost see him on the same level as Chino. So like them two at the end.
Let's do that then. Let's stick them.
Hey, good for Trent. All right, Trevor Strnad. Of course, the late Black Dahlia Murder frontman. Now, again, for people's clarity, at the time of recording, about an hour ago, we did a track-by-track for the Black Dahlia Murder, Nightbringers. So it's very fresh in our mind, his vocal style.
It is. Oh, God, it's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's not iconic. I know he's either in great or good. He's either like top of good or bottom of great. I'm just trying to like work it out between my head, because if we hadn't just done that track by track, I think I would have naturally gone kind of like the Barney route. Do you know what I mean? And been like, you know, for the style of music that he does. Yeah. But actually, you know, with it fresh in my mind, he's got pretty fucking strong range.
Yep.
Got a mix of tone. He's got like different like ways of delivering the vocals, so I think he's stronger than that.
So I look at great, right, and I see that right in the middle we've got Randy Blythe, and I'm like, well, I would have a listen to Trevor than Randy. So I'm like,
let's do that. Let's put him above Randy.
But we're not done, because then there's also Nurgle. I'm like, ooh, there's does he go above or below Nurgle?
Such a difficult comparison because of the styles of music.
All right, you know what? Let's put him after then. Let's do what we just said. Stick him on.
Who growls better?
Yeah, Randy after Nurgle, so he's in great. Okay, two left then, and two very different frontmen. It's Motley Crue's Vince Neil. Now I'm going to be straight up with this. Of course, I know this guy can't do what he could do. He's older. I'm not going to give him shit over that. However, what he did back then, I never rated. This isn't just a slur on Motley Crue. I one of the most overrated bands in the world, in my opinion. But generally, we've never rated him as a singer. Not in the conjunction of what he was around as well. For me, it's meh. And after Danzig, the bottom of meh. I don't want to put him on rubbish because ultimately Kickstart My Heart and things like that are catchy tunes and all that. But bottom of meh, man.
I love how you went, it's not a slur on Motley Crue. And then you followed it up with, but they're the most overrated band in the world.
Yeah, I may have worded that. They are one of the most overrated bands in the
world. As you well know, I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I also, purely because I just feel like rubbish. We'd have to be doing like 10,000 vocalists to get towards the rubbish kind of end of this. But I have no fondness for Motley Crue of the past. I definitely have no fondness for the most recent iterations of Motley Crue. I have nothing for this band. I don't enjoy them musically, and I certainly don't enjoy the vocals. So, it is
rubbish. Let's do it.
Should we do it? Let's put them in rubbish, man. Let's do it. Let's piss the whole internet off.
Yeah, let's just do it. Let's put them on rubbish because we both feel quite strongly about it. We just do not like this guy at all, vocals. Yeah. And last but not least, then, it's Rage Against the Machine's Zach De La Rocca.
It's an interesting style, isn't it?
It is, because we're, of course, talking a bit more hip-hop, rap almost, new metal-esque at times. Can sing.
Yeah, it can sing, but it's also like it's a vocal talent, like to deliver the hip-hop rap style anyway. So I've always liked his voice. That's the thing. I haven't always liked Rage Against the Machine. Do you know that's actually not true? I always liked Rage Against the Machine until everyone else started fucking liking Rage Against the Machine. I started trying to get him the Christmas #1 and shit like that. That killed it for me.
Yeah, that fucking year.
But you think of songs like Killing in the Name of, and when he obviously he has, because of the style of music that it is, he does that kind of like it sometimes sounds like a similar pitch that he's doing delivery of it, but he can come down low, he can come up, he can get the aggression into it and that. So I actually think he's probably in the great range.
Yep.
I think he's probably like mid to bottom of the great.
Right, let me find a spot and we'll go from there. Okay, let's start with Randy as he's in the middle. Better or worse than Randy Blythe?
Worse than Randy.
Okay, Dave Mustaine.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to stop the I like Dave Mustaine stuff. I think he's better than Dave Mustaine.
There it is then. In between those two, there it is. That's it. That's the list done. quick run through then. We have thrown in the iconic going forward to the next rounds. Iconic and great go forward. So these are who we've got. And basically the decision we have to make is if we move anyone out of great and into good. So iconic is Mike Patton, Meatloaf, Dee Snider, Dave Grohl, Chino Moreno, and Trent Reznor, all happily going through some of the best vocalists in the world there. In great, we have Lemmy, we have Serge, we have Alice Cooper, we have Nurgle, we have Trevor, we have Randy, we have Zach, we have Dave Mustaine, we have Tom Araya, Mikkel, we have Alyssa, we have Amy Lee, and we have Joey Belladonna. So that's the great. It will also go through. So anyone from, right, no, well, let's do good first and see if any of them deserve. So we got Barney. Stays where he is?
Yeah, I think so.
Johnny, Rotten?
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Darren?
Yeah, he can stay where he is, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much straightforward in this because then we've got Christina and Sharon. I think they stay where they are. David Coverdale stays. Al Jorgensen, David Draymond, and Anthony Kiedis all staying good. Do you want to move anyone from great down? Joey Belladonna, is he too high?
When you read them out, I was so confident all the way through until you hit the bottom two.
Yeah.
And that's when I started feeling like they were, I felt like they were out of place with the other names to me.
Yeah, Amy Lee and Joey Belladonna, innit?
Yeah, I just felt like, yeah, maybe we went too high with them and actually they need to move down.
Yeah, let's take them out. Let's put them at the top of good because that kind of fits.
Yeah.
And removes them from great. Sorry, guys, you're eliminated. Yeah, that's it then. That's part two. Of course, there's so many vocalists in the world, and we're not going to do every single one, but we're going to at least try and touch upon every iconic or at least memorable name in the rock and metal part. So there are more to come. We'll try and keep them a bit more consistent and faster rather than leaving it like a year. It just kind of got forgotten about. There's others we need to go back to as well. But we'll try and do this a bit faster. For now, have you got any thoughts on this? And I know, of course, you're going to controversially disagree with a lot of our opinions. I get that. Yeah, there's no need to give hate. It's just our fucking opinion. It's just our taste. You're going, why the hell we call him Vince Neil a rubbish singer? Yeah, because we just think he's a rubbish singer. But that's just us. Whereas we think Mike Patton is a fucking one of the best in the world. If you disagree, you know what to do. Just drop in the comments and explain. We'll be happy to chat to you. I'm always happy enough to reply. Won't ignore you. Let us know. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon and help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?